Hello friends. In the previous video we had looked into fundamentals of software testing. Today in this video we will be looking into software test lifecycle. Before starting this session, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ganesh Hegde, working as Senior Engineer in Kpro Solutions Private Limited. Kpro is a leading provider in Datalake, cloud implementation, IoT, blockchain, analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, and mobile application development. The agenda for today is first we will be looking into test process and software test lifecycle. Then we will be looking into different artifacts like test plan, test cases, execution of test cases, bug lifecycle, and exit criteria for testing, etc. Testing process is a set of activities, methods, best practices, deliverables, and automated tools that tester use to validate the system under test. This process is called the software testing life cycle. Effective test process always includes risk-driven planning. Foreseeing risks and having a mitigation plan will always save time and energy. Effective test process handles the bug life cycle effectively. For this purpose, generally projects will use a tracking tool, for example Quality Center, Jira, or Bugzilla, etc. Executing tests keeping requirement in mind will always keeps testing in right track. Requirement oriented test cases will effectively cover all the functionalities implemented in the software. When it comes to testing team, it should always contain experts in testing, automation, database, and domain. Test experts are required to identify test area and carry out testing in right direction. Since automation is meant for reducing manual intervention, having automation experts will speed up the testing activities. Almost all applications use database as their backend. Hence, database experts can effectively cover all the database related scenarios. Last but not the least, domain experts. Domain knowledge is very important. It helps understanding requirement properly, which ultimately leads to quality testing. Let us see software test lifecycle. It starts when project gets started. Testing team will make use of business requirement document, technical requirement document, non-functional requirements, timelines, performance criteria to come up with test strategy or test plan document. It will be submitted to client for their sign-off. Once clients give sign-off, team will go for test case design activity. In this phase, testing team will make use of test plan created and requirement documents to come up with test case document. Also, team will identify test data for test execution. Once clients are fine with test cases and application under test is available in the testing environment, testing team will go for execution. Each test cases will be executed in this phase. As execution progresses, defect will arise and they will be tracked in a defect tracking tool. Developer will address these defects and fixed defects are deployed in the testing environment. Testing team will go for regression testing to make sure all the other features are intact. This process will continue as long as the software has defect. Once the software is defect free, testing team will produce test defect log, test cycle summary report, verified closed defect report to client, and also assists in client-side validation like user acceptance testing and other kind of testing for smooth transaction. Once everything is fine, testing team will go for test closure. In this phase, testing team will produce test defect log, test cycle summary report, test requirement document as a complete report to client. If clients are fine with these results, they will provide sign-off and the project will be concluded for this. The testing activity will be concluded for this project. When a testing project is started, there must be a plan in place to carry out the testing process. In order to fulfill this necessity, test plan document is created. This is a detailed document and provides a roadmap to testing process. Generally, it includes overall test objective of the testing project. It defines the scope of the project. Along with that, it also clearly mentions out of scope item and features which will be tested very clearly. Test plan document also includes team members along with the task they will be performing. It describes the test approach for different kind of testing. It also includes possible risk and mitigation plan for that. There will be separate section for different criteria like entry criteria, exit criteria, tentative date for starting and finishing the different tasks. The next phase in test process is test cases or test case design phase. A test case is a set of conditions or variables under which a tester will determine whether a system under test satisfies requirements or works correctly. Generally, each test case will include these all are elements: test case ID, summary of the test case, requirement related to that, prerequisites, how testing will be done, test data, expected result. Actual result will be put after testing this test case, and status. If these two are matching, then the status will be pass, otherwise it will be fail. Any remark for that? Who is the creator? When it is created? The next phase in test process is test execution. This is where actual testing happens in software test lifecycle. In this phase, all the test cases are executed and whatever the defects are coming will be tracked in defect tracking tool. Let us look at bug lifecycle. When actual result is not same as expected result, then a bug is raised in a bug tracking tool. A new bug, when it is opened, will have all the information to reproduce that and severity, priority informations. Developer will work on these defects and fixes that. Once it is fixed and available in the testing environment, testing team member will go ahead and retest that. If it is fixed, then the defect will be closed. Otherwise, it will be reassigned to a developer. And this process will continue as long as the defect is closed. or the defect is fixed. Sometimes a bug raised by testing team member will not be genuine. At that time, it will be directly closed without working on that. That's all about bug lifecycle. Let's look at test deliverables. It includes test scripts, test cases, test scenarios, defect report, test summary report, benchmark report. As part of test scripts, if there is any automation scripts or database sequels, if used in execution, that will be shared. Defect report contains all the defect raised according to the severity and priority. Test summary report includes how many cycles of testing performed and what is the pass percentage in that. Benchmark reports tells about performance key factors. Let us see test exit criteria. When team applies test exit criteria, it checks all the critical test cases are passed or not. It checks whether functional flow is happening as expected. It checks one more time the use cases or business flows for its successful execution. It also checks high priority bugs, blocker bugs one more time to make sure everything is fixed. Also checks regression to make sure everything is intact due to bug fix. Let me quickly summarize what are the things we have looked in this video recording. We have seen test process and software test lifecycle and different test artifacts. Then we have seen bugs lifecycle, bug reporting, and finally we seen test exit criteria. Thank you for watching this video. In the next video I will be explaining about different levels of testing, which includes unit testing, integration testing, interface testing, system testing, acceptance testing, regression testing. Kindly provide your valuable feedback as a comment and let us know any topic you want us to make video or any issue which you are facing in your project. Please email to us at feedback@kpro.co.in. Thank you very much. Let's keep learning.